time it's episode 19.
Every time out.
I know. Well, I love it. We're getting fancy. You're looking fancy. I love the full-on yellow. Nice and bright, positive.
Well, it is. It's CSUB in its best.
Yes.
And
yes.
brightest.
We love the colors. We love it. So that means some good vibes bringing into the studio here at 23ABC. And let's just talk, Coach. So a win on the road at Chicago State and then a loss at Kansas City.
Yeah.
Where's the morale of the team headed into this week?
Well, it's good. I mean, I think our guys are, you know, obviously if you get on the road and get a sweep, no matter who you're playing, that's a good thing. But I also believe that our guys are getting excited about the end of the season. Obviously, this is senior night. It's the last time for 4 of our guys to be on the court here, especially in the regular season. So we're looking forward to that. We always take some time to kind of celebrate our seniors, so it's been a fun week for our guys. And we're looking forward to Saturday night's game and looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, a perfect time then to talk about those 4 guys. So the seniors that we have, Ricky Holden, Damian Durham, James Zuber, someone you know very, very well, Bray Barnes. So the 4 seniors, a little bittersweet as always for a coach to see your guys go. And of course, your son, it's going to be his last night playing at home under his dad. So so what are the feelings going in, and what, too, Coach, has these 4 guys meant to the program?
Well, a ton. I mean, when you think about Damian and Bray have been with our program through the first not losing season, but the first season here, we didn't have a successful season. And again, going to the NCAA tournament and going to the elite, the Final Four of the NIT. So just to see those guys grow, but also just to kind of have them just as much as what they've given to us off the floor, they've given us a lot on the floor. Bray has already graduated. James Subert has already graduated. We're expecting Damian Durham and Ricky Holden to graduate, and that's really been what we like to do in our program. We want to win on the court, but we also want to make sure that we get a degree and learn life lessons. So I've had a great experience with these guys, and they brought a lot to our program, and we're going to miss them. And they have a legacy that I think our next group of guys are learning from them every day, that they're leaving, and hopefully our guys will take that mantle and move forward with it.
Yeah, and when you take a look at this video, see some key plays there from these guys. Yeah. Do you get emotional when you think about, you know, this day comes? Obviously, it's a big day for them, but I always wonder the coach's mind, is it hard not to kind of, I mean, you have business on the court, but it's kind of tough.
It is. It's probably 2 times in the year that I get really emotional. One of them is senior night, and the other one is graduation. Because you really know that our time together is coming to an end. So there's a lot of memories that, you know, you have mixed feelings. You know, it's kind of like your son's leaving the house. You want them to leave. They've matured, they're ready to go, but also you have all of those thoughts of, you know, as they were going through the process. So kind of with our players, I consider them all like sons to me. So to know they're going to go different ways, hopefully there'll always be a connection to our program and to CSUB, but you also know that that's it, you know. So that's kind of tough. Yeah. So I kind of, you know, normally like I am today, I kind of get emotional leading up to that day. And then that day is our business. It's like clockwork. So I probably have a few tears and I like to spend a little time with each one of them, just to thank them, but also let them know, because sometimes guys leave and they don't realize how much they meant to the program or to you personally. So I try to take a little time with each one of them, and then hopefully, you know, on Saturday night, you know, all the mushy stuff's gone. It's time to play, because that's what we enjoy the most.
Yeah. I got it. Well, you touched on the legacy a little bit, but these 4 players, what do you hope that is the one thing that they leave behind for this younger group? Because you got a lot of young guys that will be returning, which is a little bit of a plus to know you're not losing too much. But of course, the weight of these seniors, I'm sure, is felt across the younger guys.
Well, just the way that we do things. I mean, we've built a culture of hard work. We've built a culture of really working together with each other, making sacrifice. We've built a culture of an expectation of winning. Whether we lose that particular game, oftentimes in our program we talk about we might lose some battles, but in the end we're gonna win the war. But also just the importance to our program and to each other, each person being in it and becoming a successful man. You know, we're always teaching life lessons. I'm always talking to them about this is just a short period in your life, and this is a time that you can mold the right kind of disciplines and habits and, you know, things like that that'll help you be successful. And, you know, hopefully that they take that. You know, we've had a lot of success in guys being in our program and leaving, going on to being successful. And we believe this group here will do the same. So hopefully, I think they've gotten to where they are. I know they will tell any player recruit, well, coaches care about you first, and then he cares about your academics, and then it's basketball. So you hear that through our program. And I think the group that's coming up, our younger guys, I think they already have, you know, taken it, and they've kind of started to move forward with it now.
Awesome, and we're grateful because we get those lessons a little bit too here. That's why we started doing this.
That's what you keep saying.
I will always say it, Coach. I'm learning just as much as these players. And we were joking, we're probably listening a little bit easier than the players do because they have to see a little bit more.
Yes, that's true. Sometimes they turn me off and go, we've had enough, Coach. So.
Well, we're all ears turned on here. All right, Coach, so back to business with this game, Cal Baptist. It was a team that you guys beat on the road. So what have you seen from their growth since you've last seen them, and what do you expect in terms of the game on Saturday?
Well, we thought, you know, going down there, again, they were kind of trying to work their way, learning through the league, because that's important. And we felt like we had an opportunity, you know, to catch them at a time that they had not seen the style of play we play. And we felt like it affected them, but really the game was played the way they wanted to play. It was up-tempo, it was a lot of points scored. It was an open court kind of game. And we played it their way, and we were successful to do that. Hopefully here at home we can make it more of our game, even though we still want to get up and down, but not get where we're leaving so many guys open and giving them, you know, open shots because the court being so wide, being so open. So, but they're a good team. Their guards are really, really good. Two of the best guards in our league. So we've got our work cut out for us. And, you know, again, it's senior night. I hope we can stay focused and locked in and get off to a good start. That's been my concern some and always with senior night. But hopefully our seniors will step up and lead us through that game, and our young guys will follow, and hopefully we can get a win.
Yeah, and I know not to put the sensitive point on, but of course the last games at home have not gone your way, so to end at home on the right note is probably in your guys' minds as well. Is there any extra pressure there?
No, not really. I mean, I think, you know, always anything that happens that recently or in the past, you know, you always bring it up. You always think about it, at least it crosses your mind. You just can't harp on it. You know, I think we haven't played well, I shouldn't say played well. We haven't finished well here lately. February has not been one of our most favorite months this year. A lot of injuries, you know, a lot of things have happened to our team as far as tough breaks at the end of games. And, you know, but, you know, I keep telling them, if we keep working at it, it'll turn our way. And if March is better than February, then
hey, that's the month.
That's the month that we really want to be good. But, you know, I think our guys are in a good frame of mind. I think it would help us confidence-wise and preparing to go on the road for 3 games if we can win the game on Saturday night.
All right, so feeling a little healthier and a little confident headed into this week. And what's it like having these big weeks where you kind of just get to prepare up until the weekend game? You got that, or you have that happening this week, and then the following week you don't have a game until Saturday. Does that help all of those issues?
It helps because we get a chance to really break down with individual players. We get a chance to get guys truly healthy, and instead of trying to get them ready for the game. Normally, when you're hurt and your team has injuries, you're always trying to get them to the game. We got to get them ready for Thursday night. We've had a few more days. They could get some rest, a little bit more treatment, more time, just one-on-one time individually. That's not only just on the court, that's off the court. And I think it's helped us this week. That's why I think we're in a good frame of mind going into this game. And I think it'll happen to us next week. I think we still have some guys a little banged up, but I think we'll go next Saturday. We'll probably be as healthy as we've been in probably 6 weeks.
Awesome.
So that's great.
Yeah, so a good time. And as we basketball fans, we always know it's getting closer to March. March is that time that we're all excited for.
Yes.
WAC tournament right around the corner, it feels like. So before we get there, Coach.
Yep, I know.
You know.
I know.
Yeah, I've made it a little bit easier. I used to say that I would try to do about 5 questions. I've reeled it back, but the seat is still hot. I'm
warm.
still asking the burning questions.
Yes.
But, you know, hey, it's not too bad.
It's not. I'm ready.
You're ready.
We're closing.
You brought the color. You're ready.
This is
You're ready to pop.
the last home game, so just bring it on today. All right.
All right, Coach. Well, as we talked about senior night, a little bit of memory lane, not only for these guys, but how about for you? What do you remember from your last home game out there in Mississippi?
Do you remember how long that was ago?
I wasn't sure. I thought you were going to tell us.
Well, that's
we don't have to do that.
4 scores. Oh, wow. Probably the thing that I remember the most is being called out and on the floor, walking out with my family and just seeing how proud my dad and my mother was. That was probably the thing that stuck out the most to me. And it would seem as if it was the longest walk ever. Like it took us forever to get there. And once we got there, just looking in their faces to knowing that they were proud of their son, and that was important to me. And because my dad wasn't the kind of guy that would show a whole lot of emotions, and he definitely wasn't going to tell you you're doing a great job. So it was just good to have them there and have that experience with them.
And tell us a little inside scoop. What is it like to have not only the coach hat, but the dad hat? Because you're going to have Bray out there. You kind of get to do that for him. Right. But I'm sure maybe you put on the dad hat a little bit more when that moment comes. But what is that like to have your son having played for you and now this being his last home game?
Well, again, leading up to the week, my wife and I was talking about it last night. You know, you think of all those from the time that he first picked up his basketball to the time that you started talking to him about college, and from the first time you really watched him play, those things kind of come back to your remembrance. But, you know, again, I'll do all of that, a couple of games, but then on game day, I'll be coach. You know, it'll be no more mushy, no more. I'll tell him I'm proud of him because I tell every player that, but you know, leading up to that, you're dad. Right. But then on game day, it's coach.
Coach all the way.
It's coach all the way.
Yeah, well, cool experience. And a last question with the seniors. What advice would you give to them to be able to soak up this experience the way that they should?
Well, it's an accomplishment, you know, especially nowadays. There's so much happening in the world. I mean, kids are dropping out at rates, not going to college, not even finishing high schools. They need to cherish and embrace this moment. I am probably one of the worst ones to actually give advice on this, but I think every once in a while you have to pause. And this is a pause moment for them. This is a moment that you soak in. Man, I made it. It's a chapter in my life that many don't get the opportunity. It's senior night. You reflect on all the memories, the good and the bad, knowing about the relationships and the travels and the experiences you've had, the people that you've met. So that's my biggest thing to them. Just take a pause, you know, and when they blow the horn, it's time to go. But leading up to that, you know, and when, again, we try to do that. We talk about it all week. We try to share some moments with them again, try to spend some time with them one-on-one, because we want it to be special. We don't want just the game, because whether the game end good or bad, we want their experience to know, hey man, coach gave us this advice, the assistant coaches felt this way, the players said these things about us, and then the game is just a portion of what we do. And that's the thing that I tell them all the time. You know, people make so much of, and I'm on one of my rants again, people make so much about the game itself. Mm-hmm. It's 40 minutes. I mean, I'm not the greatest mathematician it is, but 40 minutes out of a night or a day, and everyone's thoughts, whether they feel good, bad, it's all caught up into that. Well, once they graduate, once they're through playing basketball, what's going to be that 40 minutes? Mm-hmm. Life is more than just 40 minutes. Learning how to win, learning how to lose, learning how to agony of defeat and the joy of success is something. So we don't want to take 40 minutes against Cal Baptist and make it everything. We want to think about, there's been 4 years, 5 years for some of our players. Man, what have I learned? What have I accomplished? How have I grown? And make that whole experience so the game becomes a part of their experience. If we just start experiencing games and that's it, then we're going to be up and down. And you know this because you've been at our games. You're like, if we're going to experience every shot, it's going to be some highs and lows. We're going to need someone to talk to us afterwards, you know. But if you just take it all into, put it in perspective, it's part of this whole process of helping me mature to hopefully be the man that we all think they'll be one day.
Kind of interesting, the points of view and perspective when a game's unfolding. We've talked about this a little bit. Yeah. The amount of focus on the court and with the coaches is so intense, but then you have us on the sides as fans feeling every emotion probably to a higher extent than we should, but you don't want the players that to translate to them, right? Because they have to be, it's, hey, miss that shot, let's get back in it.
Yes,
but then you hear the crowd.
Right.
Oh. So it's kind of, it's an interesting point, but
I think that's the beauty of it all.
Right.
You know, I think to come and have all of those emotions and have all of those feelings in a 40-minute game, or you know, is that what makes sports so special.
Very true.
I just think everything around it, the camaraderie, the the discipline, the skill set that it takes. That's what makes life, what it's all about, living and make life enjoyable. But for that 40 minutes, I mean, it can take you places that your emotions that you never thought you could go. So I try to stay calm and stay, focused with our guys because, again, there is so much perception of people perception of what happens in a game.
Right.
And we talked about this earlier, just to play 38, 39 minutes of really good basketball and then lose the game at the end, you can go from having an excellent body of work for 39 minutes, and for 1 minute goes bad, it affects you sometimes a whole week.
And guess what everyone's going to talk about? That one minute.
Yes, exactly.
I know, it's too bad it works like that. And Coach, my last burning question, before we switch into some other college basketball stuff I want to pick your brain about. This one I'm surprised I've never asked you, but this is a perfect time of reflection. Mm-hmm. What's the most important thing that the game of basketball has taught you? You just touched on a lot of things, but when it comes down to it, what's that greatest lesson that this game you love can teach you, or maybe hopefully teach some of your players?
We're better together than apart. I am so much better with people that are around me that we're working together than I am when I stand alone. And that is, to me, that's family. To me, that's team. Hopefully we build that one day it's country.
Right.
But that's, to me, that is the most important thing, that every day I see it. I see it from a guy being discouraged to another guy encouraging. I see it from one guy strong in this area than another area. So together, unity, we're better together than we are separate.
Amen to that. If I tell you that this man is teaching lessons every week, they probably think that I'm just building you up because we do this show. I'm like, I fully am motivated. That just happened.
Right.
I didn't know it would happen. It just happens.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of that knowledge. But we're going to throw a fun question your way.
Okay.
Zion Williamson, did you get to see a little bit of a mishap? Big old game, big old rivalry game, UNC and Duke, and in 33 seconds in, the poor guy went down. So I just want to know, we don't know yet
Okay,
unless it
here
came
you
out.
go.
I know, well, we don't know yet if it came out or not, if he will be out for a while. But the question that looms with college sports is, when is it time to know that, hey, you know, I got a future ahead of me, I shouldn't play with these guys? Or do you just play for the love of college basketball and your team, and if he does get healthy in time, should he come back?
No.
Wow, okay.
His career should be over. I mean, regardless if he can come back.
Okay.
I say that because as I talk to our players, there's some people that God has gifted that are, as Zion, he has a great, God blessed him with an awesome gift and talent. And that's where his future is going to lie. That's where he's going to take care of his family. That's where he's going to, you know, be able to help his kids or his parents or whoever, for him to live a productive life. It is already said that he's the #1 pick.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to prove. Just because we are fascinated with college or getting an education, which I'm definitely for education. I think that guys go to the pros should still come back to college and get an education. But his future is in basketball. And now he has an opportunity to do that, then he's got to take it. And with anything, I think whenever your value is at its peak, you got to take advantage of it. And right now, it's at its peak. Now, I talk to other guys. We have other guys that are very smart. Mm-hmm. And what I mean, they have been gifted with, whether that was gift from their parents to be in great schools and have a great background educationally, and they need to be magna cum laude to set them on a path that they can be successful, because they're going to be lawyers or doctors, or there's going to be whatever it may be. So I think all of the college experience to me is to prepare you for the real world. Mm-hmm. And if it's not preparing you, which I don't think necessarily for Zion Williams, it's going to prepare him anymore. He's proven. He's proven on the college scene. He's proven on high school. His next thing is to get drafted #1. I thought about a couple of guys that went on and played and they're injured, and now they go from first pick to 10th pick to not being healthy ever again to being out of the pros in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. He
has to take advantage right now at the peak of his value. And I'm sorry, Duke. I'm sorry, Coach K. I'm sorry, college basketball.
All the fans, all the people put money on that.
Yes, but it's life. I
Yeah.
mean, it's the way it is. I don't think any stock, any person that has a business, when they feel like they can peak, I think they peak to get the very best. And he's in the best position that he's going to ever be in right now, and he needs to take advantage of it.
That's a good, clear thought, because I will tell you, I may or may not be on the other side of the spectrum with that conversation, because I'm such a team-oriented person, but I've never had that caliber of talent to know what that's like to have that, you know, the target on your back almost. And not that anyone's targeting him on the court, but just the fact that there's so much pressure for him to get to the next level.
Well, I'll say this, and I just spoke about team, so I'm not going to contradict myself. Our first team to me is our family. Mm-hmm. He has a responsibility to his parents and his siblings. Right. And that team you have to take care of first.
No doubt.
Not that you don't do anything with anybody else. It's unfortunate to me. I think NBA need to have the rule, if you're one and done, I think we need to get rid of the rule. I just think whenever a kid wants to be drafted, whether it's out of high school, junior high school, it doesn't matter. Because I think we do it in tennis, we do it in golf, we do it in other sports. We should do it in men's basketball. And the NBA should have a rule that whenever a kid wants to put his name in the draft, and the NBA wants to draft him, draft. If Zion Williamson it's been 8 months or 9 months, he was a high school kid.
That blows my mind that he was a high school kid.
Yeah. So why not just draft him last year? And we're not even talking about this. Right. And there's not a ton of guys that's going to happen with. But what is 9 months going to do but get you hurt?
National championship.
Yeah,
That's always down the
Duke
line.
will have a chance to do that regardless.
Very true.
Yeah.
No, very true. And I'm glad you cleared that up because it's great to hear your perspective. Because again, I only come from one side. I'd never had that talent. Can't even imagine what that would be like. But of course, for the love of the game, you want to see someone that's all in with their college team. But yeah, a lot on the line for that kid. Wish him well. Hope he gets better and gets back to good health.
I'm not going to put you on the spot right now.
You can't do it. I do it all the time.
I'm on the hot seat, so I'm not going to put you on the spot.
I'll take the hot seat. I feel it burning. What's
you
up?
are very talented. You are very gifted. And I'm not going to ask you that if you had an opportunity to be on ESPN or you had a chance to be the anchor of CNN, I'm not going to ask that question here. We're just going to move on.
Okay.
We've had a great session.
I love my job here. Down the line, we don't know, but yes. I appreciate that, Coach. But yeah, I just love what I do, talent or not. I just love what I do, and I'm happy I get to do it, and happy that you join me every week for this session. But yeah, I'll take that. We need to start doing that. Since I put you in the hot seat, you can throw me in for just one question.
One question. Okay.
So now you got to think.
You don't have to answer that one this time.
Yeah, won't answer this time. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining, and we will see you next week for Runners Recap.